My fourth topic tonight is on Cargill and whether or not they should be required to do emissions reporting to either this body or the County Board of Supervisors. On one of my recent visits to City Hall, I asked why duly elected officials to the City Council received no reports as to whether or not Cargill is in compliance with air emission standards as provided for by the Nebraska Department of Environmental Quality. After being told it was a county matter and of no interest to Blair City leaders, I scratched my head and left wondering if the county had any interest in the matter. I contacted Harlow Wilcox of the County Board of Supervisors. I also visited with Ernie Barriotis and who's my county supervisor, Mary Alice Johnson, and Ronnie Heinlein on the subject. Harlow told me he could probably access the information if he wanted to, but in general it was a state matter that the county didn't care about. Sounds kind of familiar. I'll bet that's similar to what the oyster and shrimp fishermen in the Gulf Coast have been told about the offshore drilling industry. If elected to this body that I'm addressing at this moment, I plan on hitting the ground running, and protecting the health and well-being of Blairites will be one of my priorities. Not sweeping issues like this under the rug or leaving it up to someone in Lincoln or Washington to concern themselves with. In order to find out what actually is happening out there, I decided to venture to Lincoln to discover the truth by myself. When I went down there, I kind of suspected I might receive maybe some files. I got in that review room at the DEQ. They rolled in a table with about 50 files of over 250 pages each, all applicable to only the Blair site. I'd like to share a few of the things I found with you all at this time. I'm not going to name names here because I'm going to protect anybody locally that may work at that facility. Somebody from the DEQ was emailing to the environmental coordinator at NatureWorks. We are needing the operational data for the last 4 years at the barometric tank vent. Sounds like a pretty specific request to me. Here's the answer. As a follow-up to your request today, could you please send me a quick note outlining exactly what you still need from NatureWorks? I want to make sure that we get you exactly what you need in a timely manner, and I will follow up with you first thing next week. This is just simply a sample of many of the stonewalling techniques I discovered down there.
Mr. Flynn goes on to list further delays by NatureWorks in reporting their air emission levels to the Nebraska Department of Environmental Quality. In fact, in a display of excessive tolerance, the NDEQ allowed 4 years to pass before they finally took NatureWorks to court.
Beginning December 13, 2003 and continuing daily until December 13, 2007, that's 4 years. The defendant exceeded the limits established for CO from emission point CPD 15. In all instances of violation of permits issued by the Nebraska Department of Environmental Quality, a civil penalty in an amount not to exceed $10,000 per offense is provided, with each continuing day constituting a separate offense pursuant to Nebraska Revenue Statute 81-1508.0. Take simple math, 4 years times 365 days is 1,460 days times 10,000. That would be a $14.6 million fine. Here's the consent decree. This was signed on, I believe, the 7th day of December in 2009 in Washington County. And it is therefore ordered on this consent decree that NatureWorks shall pay to the clerk of district court a civil penalty in the sum of $120,000, together with court costs in the amount of $82. In consideration of the facility's prompt reporting of non-compliance, 3 years and 11 months must be prompt reporting, good faith efforts to achieve and maintain compliance with the department's rules and regulations as quickly as possible and without necessary supervision by the department, $80,000 of said penalty shall be and is hereby waived. That pretty much ends the topics that I wish to discuss and present to the council today, because I guess my bottom line question is this. When Blair welcomed Cargill with open arms and wined and dined them and did everything else, gave them tax sunsets and everything else on help them get started. Did anybody on this body or the county board ever take it upon themselves to require that some reporting be given back to the citizens of this community, or is that too big of an issue for us to handle? I would feel, if I was a member of this board, that that's definitely something I'd want to hear. Either on a 6-month basis, a year basis, I would like to hear that they are in compliance, or if they are having court action taken against them, that it be reported so the citizens of this community know what's going on. That's all I have to say. I would open the floor up to questions or anyone else that wants to talk about it. Thank you.